every problem like changes what you have to do. Like basically it's either multiply or divide isn't the work. So it doesn't take very long. But just knowing what to do is the hard part, I guess. Okay, so we're talking about money today. And there's a bunch of different ways that percentages and money goes together. So we're going to talk about a lot of ways that percentages and money go together today. And the first way, I'm just jumping in right now, by the way. The first way we're going to talk about it is with tip. Does anybody know what a standard tip is for like a restaurant?
Isn't it like
15% is usually 10% would be okay. I mean, a tip is whatever you want, right? But kind of generally people will do about 15%. Okay, so on number one, we are supposed to give a 15% tip. It said the bill was $26.49. If we're tipping 15%, then I want to figure out what is 15% of this. How do I do that? How do I find 15%? How do I, listen to what I'm saying. Shh, listen to what I'm saying. How do you find 15% of a number? Okay.
You divide by 15.
You hear what I said? 15% of a number?
You multiply.
Multiply.
I was right.
I said
Okay, yeah, and we're not multiplying by 15. That would be a giant number. We're multiplying by 0.15.
Yeah.
That's what
Mr. Jordan, want to hear what Eva said when I said my dog died?
Oh.
She said, ooh. And that's it. And then she goes,
Okay.
We're going.
Alright. One of the tricky things on 1 through 4 is they tell us to round where to round it to. If you look at the third column, it says round up to the next quarter. You guys know how to count by quarters? Right. So we're paying the tip in quarters basically. So how much money should we pay in quarters? So we're going to round this off. Now, normally if you're doing money, you should probably round to the 1 cent place, right? Because that's where we stop on money. But on this one, we're going to round to the quarters. What did you guys get on number 1?
3.9615.
Okay, so that'd be like $3.96 normally, but if I round that up to the next quarter, not to the nearest quarter, but up, what would that be? $4. I can pay $4 in quarters, right?
yeah.
Okay, it doesn't say round to the nearest quarter, it says round up to the next quarter.
Oh.
So if the answer had been like $3.60, we wouldn't round to $3.50, we'd round up to $3.75, for example. Okay, number 3.
Mr. Jordan?
Yeah.
On number 2, I forgot how much a nickel is.
Nickel's 5 cents, so
Okay.
5, 10, 15, 20, so your number should end in a 5 or a 0 on that one. Number 3, rounding up to the next dollar. It's a $64.32 bill, and we're supposed to tip 20%. So what do I need to do to that? Times just 0.2. You could say 0.20 or just 0.2. Move the decimal twice. Somebody tell me what you get on that.
12.86.
Okay, so on this one we're supposed to round up to the next dollar. So $13. So number 2 says round up to the next nickel, 4 says round up to the next quarter, so make sure you're rounding up no matter what. Number 5, what is commission? You've heard this word in 7th grade, I'm sure, probably, even though I wasn't there. I know it's in the book, but you might have forgot because it's like one day lesson thing. Does anybody know what commission means?
A fee?
Kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't it like a fee of the entire total?
That's, yeah, you're on the right track. Commission is when a person sells things, they get a percentage of what they sell, like the money that, whatever they sell, they get a percentage of that money. That means they're getting a commission. Does anybody know a job that gets a commission?
Realtor.
Realtor? What's realtor mean?
Person sells
Sells
houses.
Houses or property.
Car salesman.
Car salesman?
Those people that work at Sonic.
No, that's a tip, that's not a commission. Well, tips are kind of like a commission, right? But tips, you can do tip whatever, so it's a little bit different, but, yeah, there's not a lot of examples. Appliances, maybe, just big ticket items usually get a commission. So if you're a realtor, you can make pretty good money, because if you're getting 10% of a $100,000 house you sold or $1 million house you sold, 10% of $1 million is 100,000. So you can get 100,000 just on selling one thing. Although I'm sure it'd take a lot of work. Paxton, sit up. All right, number 5. So here's how it works. Whatever you sell. So on 5 they sold something worth $29,450. Sounds like maybe a new car or something.
My office.
And their commission rate is 14%. So the commission is how much money is the salesperson gonna get? So guess what we're gonna do? Nope. The salesperson's gonna get 14% of 29,450. If you multiply by a number that's less than 1, like 0.14, you're gonna get a smaller number. Whoops, I put equals right there. Does the directions say where to round it? It says round sales to the nearest dollar, rates to the nearest 10th of a percent. So it doesn't say round it, I guess. What do we get?
210,300.
New
What?
It's 4,123.
4123.
Do you not know how to use a calculator?
Here, look. Oh, I divided. I got it.
Okay.
I'm smart, trust me.
Should the sale be more or less than the commission? More. You sell like a $29,000 car, you're not gonna get more money than that. You're only gonna get a small portion, well, relative. You only get 4,000, okay.
I want that job.
Yeah.
Money.
Alright, anyway, that's that one. Okay, before we move on, let's do a little algebra lesson. So you guys know 2 times 3 is 6, right?
It's 7.
So let's pretend
Smartest minds.
if you didn't know, let's pretend we did know that. How would I figure out what goes right there?
Having a brain and knowing it's free.
You divide by 2, right?
Yeah.
If this times this equals that, then 6 divided by 2 equals that. Is that right? Or same thing, if blank times 3 equals 6, then 6 divided by 3 equals the answer, right? So when we did it algebraically, that was like an x right there. Let's put an n right there. And we just divide by 2, right? Get n by itself. So if a times b equals c, then c divided by b equals a, or c divided by a equals b. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's not new, that's old stuff. We need that though to do these next problems.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna erase it, hopefully it's in your brains.
Throw the mic up.
Hopefully it's
Mic's
clear.
paying.
Okay, so on number 5, the one we just did, we did the first column times the second column to get the third column, right? We did $29,450 times 0.4t, right? That's what we did. So it's basically A times B equals C. So on number 7, if I don't know the interest rate, or sorry, the commission rate, how do I find that missing number in the middle? Divide. If sales times rate equals commission, then to go back, how do we go backwards? We do commission
Divided by rate equals.
Commission divided by rate equals sales, or commission divided by sales equals rate. And we're missing the rate, so that's one we need to do. We do commission, 483.84. divided by sales, 6912. Okay, a commission rate though is a percentage, so we need to change our answer to a percent.
7%.
The directions tell us to round to 0.1%. So it could be 7.1%, but this one comes out perfectly, doesn't it?
7%.
Comes out perfectly as 0.07, so it is 7%. If it said like 7.123 or whatever, we'd have to write 7.1%. Any questions on that one? So most of these problems are going to be multiply or divide. If you're going forwards, you're probably multiplying. If you're going backwards, you're probably dividing. Number 9. How do I go backwards and find sales?
The commission divided by rate.
Commission divided by rate. So what are we going to plug in? We're going to plug in 974.87, the commission, divided by, you guys tell me on this one.
7.5.
Nope.
Uh,
0.0775.
Correct. 0.0775. 7.75% is not worth 7.75, so we can't plug that in the calculator. You got to plug in 0.0775. Or if you do have a percentage button on your calculator, you could plug it in with that. 7.75%. It says we're supposed to round sales to the nearest dollar. So what's the answer on your calculator rounded to the nearest dollar, Olivia? Just start telling me numbers, I'll round them down.
12578.
It's 12578.9. So to the nearest dollar, 12,579. Okay, so far so good?
Yeah.
3 boxes left. Did I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Number 11. Okay. What do you guys know, what do you think they mean by markup?
Scratch.
Nope. Okay, we're talking about money. If something is marked up, what do you think that means?
It goes up
The price is going up.
because of demand.
What's the opposite of markup?
Market.
Discount.
Oh.
Discount.
Market.
So, you guys remember on Tuesday we talked about percent change?
Yeah, change over original.
Yeah, let me write that down again. Percent change, can you guys tell me the formula? Percent change equals
Change over the original.
change divided by original, yes. Change, this is like the formula you need to have memorized for this chapter. Change divided by original. Okay, when you mark up an item, you're moving it up by like 20%, 10%. That is a percent change. Okay, markup, listen, the markup rate is a percent change. You're marking something up 5%, 10%. So the difference is it's talking about money. So we have different terms for money than we used on Tuesday. Also, discount is percent change. When you mark something down 20% off sale, that's a percent change also. It's 20% discount. Anyway, it all relates to Tuesday. So we're going to do some of the stuff we did on Tuesday in a second. Okay, on number 11, it says the original cost is $75, and we're supposed to mark it up 20%. You guys remember how we did this on Tuesday? Right. We need to figure out what 20% of $75 is. 15 bucks. Does that mean the price gets marked up to $15? What does that mean?
It's plus 15.
This is how much the markup is. That's not what it ends up at.
Yeah.
It's got to end up more than 75, right?
What?
$15 is not what the price changes to. We're trying to move the price up 20%. So it should be more than $75. So $15 is not, listen, $15 is not what the price changes into, it's what the price changes by. $15 is how much it's gonna mark up.
So we could just add that to 75.
Okay, this is the first blank. $15 is the markup. It's kinda like on Tuesday, we put like plus 15 in that box. That's the plus 15. Yeah, to figure out the final price, which they call the retail price, like what it goes for, what you put on when you put it on the shelf, that's what it would be.
$90.
Yeah, is $90. So you just start with the original price and add the markup. This is exactly what we did on Tuesday, if you guys remember.
I like that.
Okay. So let's review what we just did on number 11. Are you guys looking at 11? Take a peek down there. What we did was 75 times 0.20. Listen, girls, this is not easy enough where you can just goof off. You have to listen to everything I'm saying. 75 times 0.20 gave us that third column, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's A times B equals C, again, right? Then after we got the third column, $15, we added that back to the first column. So A plus C equals D. You guys understand what I'm saying? Yeah. We did A times B to get C, and then we did A plus C to get D. All right? So on number 13, I'm missing A. So how do I go backwards to find A? Divide. If A times B equals C, then C divided by B gives me A, right?
Yes.
If cost times markup rate gives me markup, then markup divided by the rate gives me cost. So on 13, we're going to do $18 divided by 0.15. $120. Okay, if the original cost was 120, how do we figure out what the new cost, the final cost retail price is going to be?
120
Nope.
times 0.15.
Nope.
Multiply
Okay,
it.
120 times 0.15 would be $18.
So you multiply it.
Nope. Okay, if we multiply 120 times 0.15, that would give us $18.
Oh,
Okay, $18 is the
120
markup.
plus 120 plus,
Yeah.
15.
$18 is how much the price is going up. So we need to increase 120 by $18. Remember how I said A plus C equals D? That's what we're doing right now. So that's the retail price. Okay, on 15, it says the markup is $4.79 and the retail is $24.74. So the markup is the amount the price increased. So it's basically saying we added $4.79 and we ended up with retail price $24.74. So how do we find the original price? Subtract. Minus 479. I believe that's 1995. Sounds like a commercial, doesn't it? Only 1995 a month.
Yeah, 1999.
$19.
Okay, so that's answer 1. And what else do we need? We need the markup rate. The markup rate is a percent, right?
Yes, we're gonna do
It's the percent change. So on number 15, what is the change on that problem? How much is the number changing?
$4.70.
Yes. The markup is the change, $4.79. What is the original price? 1995. Yeah, another way you could think of that is we're basically doing C divided by A equals B.
Odd numbers.
But yeah. We're supposed to round, it says, to the nearest whole percent. So what decimal did you guys get on that one?
It's 0.2401002.
Okay, what's that rounded to the nearest percent?
24.
24%, right? So yeah, these ideas are they're kind of big ideas for 8th graders. The original price was $19.95. We moved that price up by 24%, which came out to $4.79. When you move it up by $4.79, you end up with $24.74.
Does Algebra I make us better adults?
Sure it does. Gives you brain power. All right, 17. Actually, we probably should do 16 first. That's an even, but we kind of need to start with the first one. All right, on 16, it's pretty much the same thing as the last box, but we're doing discount this time. So what's going to change? Goes down. Everything else is the same, but the price is going to go down. So on 16, we want to start with $77 and do a 30% discount. 30% down. How am I going to do that? Times. First, figure out what is 30% of $77. If we're talking about money, what would that be? $23.10. What's that answer tell us?
It went down.
That's called the discount. That's like how much money you're gonna save. This is how much the price is gonna drop. $23.10. So, guess what we need to say next?
$23.
What's the final? They call it the sale price because you know when something's on sale, you're paying this less for it, right? So this is called the sale price. What does that come out to? $53.90.
Yeah.
So we had a $77 item. It dropped 30%. 30% came out as $23. And it dropped down to $53.90. Yeah.
It's 219.
Okay. Yeah, you can go, I guess. This is for volleyball girls, not BK.
I was about to say that's why.
Kane's gonna
Like,
watch
why do
it.
I need to know the time?
Fun facts.
Fun time, yeah.
You'll never be.
Just saying, fun fact, I breathe air.
I'll go play volleyball. Hey.
All right. Kind of lost. Where are we at? 17.
Oh, 17, yeah. Oh, shoot.
Did I screw up your paper with 16?
Yeah, I wrote the entire.
Wrote it on the right
I'm
side.
down on 17.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, okay, we got that. Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, I'm recording now if you guys want to watch it.
Yeah.
You can see yourself walk by. You can walk in there. She's on the film.
Olivia, he's gonna get so many dislikes on the video now.
No, he's gonna get like so many comments. Like, that's her ass.
It's Olivia. It's the Olivia cameo.
Look, it's right tattoo.
Brad Patrick.
Oh, yeah, the other
What hour?
one, behind you, Olivia.
Now you guys can see yourself on the video.
Oh, no. Did you see
Good
that?
luck.
Yeah, it's too much.
Alright. 17. So it says the discount was $1.01. So the price dropped $1.01 and it ended up at $5.74. So how do I figure out the original price?
You multiply.
E-
What?
The price, the discount was $1.01.
You
So
add.
right. So if it dropped $1.01, you probably can do that in your head, right? If you had $1.01.
$6.65.
$6.75 is the original price.
Yeah.
And then how do we find what percent it dropped?
Change over original.
The change divided by the original. Or you could think of it as C divided by A equals
So,
B.
120.
The change was right, $1.01. The original was $6.75. We're supposed to round this to the nearest percent also.
14 cents.
Point
50,
four,
right?
point 14
Yeah,
14 to point
50.
is 149.
Yeah, 9, 6,
0.149.
So that's about
15.
15%. Oops. Kind of sloppy Joe.
It's always in math class, I remember.
May I go there?
Sorry, Joe.
No. Mr. Jordan, may I go there?
We don't believe in the restroom.
Are you sure about that?
There is no bathroom.
Are you getting a spot somewhere?
I just remembered a scene from Kindergarten Cop. I'll have to pull it up for you guys. All right, you can go.
Yay.
Just the last time for this year, though.
Oh.
Yeah,
What about before?
You get one time.
Enjoy it while you can.
Like saying.
Might as well just walk home.
Stop disciplining.
All right, you guys ready for 19?
Oh, I can't walk home now. And my house isn't close enough.
Okay, so on 19, girls. So on 19, you know how A times B. Listen, A times B equals C, right? So if we're missing A, how do we go backwards and find it?
On
19. Look at 19.
9. Okay.
If A times B equals C, that's what we've been doing this whole page. How do we go backwards and find A?
$274.17 divide.
Yes. If A times B, look, if A times B equals C, then if we want to go backwards, what do? We do C divided by B to get A.
You.
Okay? If it multiplies this way, then it divides this way. So 19 will be 247.17 divided by, what am I dividing by?
0.33.
0.33. Kind of ugly.
740.
740 exactly?
749.
749? Okay, there's one answer.
First answer's always.
Okay. We started with 749. How do I find the final? How do I find the final price? Sale price.
Subtract
Right.
749.
Subtract the discount. Subtract 247.17. What is that? 501.83. Okay, 21, last box. Okay, have we talked about interest before? I don't think we have. You guys know what interest is?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you give them a.
Yeah, like.
You get
Yeah.
you take a loan and you pay them back a certain percent.
You have to pay them.
Okay, did we talk about that
Like
once?
for
Yeah.
like a minute.
Like a minute. It wasn't the assignment, but we talked about it. Okay, Yeah, you guys, it sounds like you guys can remember. You can get interest by investing money into something and you get a little bit of extra money back, that's called interest. Or if you borrow money from the bank, not only do you have,
to give them more.
you have to pay them back, but you also have to pay extra money called interest.
Did you enjoy your time?
Okay.
The door's not open.
The formula is very basic.
How was it?
Now you guys are.
Listen, interest equals principal times rate times time. Principal just means the money that you are investing. The rate is like 2%, 3%, 4% per time per year.
So
Wow,
let's
they
only
only
go
believe
to
in that.
So, listen, you just multiply those three numbers together to get the interest. So on number 21, we're just gonna do, to find the interest, we're gonna do principal times rate. What am I gonna put in for the rate? 0.04 times the time, 3 years.
Wow. That's a lot.
Somebody
I
already,
didn't ask for your opinion.
somebody already done it?
100.
They
Yeah, wait, 300.
Yeah, 300.
That equals 300.
300.
That equals 300.
So,
Oh, that's what we did.
yeah, what that means is the $2,500 that was invested is gonna earn 4% every year for 3 years. So you get 300, it's like 300 extra bucks that you wouldn't have had before.
I like the sound of that. Except then,
Money.
if I gave Xander money, he would just never pay me back ever.
And then you would claim that.
Okay. So guys, listen, here's what we did. We did A times B times C to get D, right?
Yeah.
That's what we just did. What if we're missing A though?
Divide.
Back
D
divided
times C times C.
Yeah, D divided by C divided by B
Yeah.
would give us A.
Oh.
Or D divided by B divided by A would give us C. So if we're going backwards, which we are on most of these, you're gonna have to divide D divided by whatever to get the missing ones.
Just divide it.
Okay, so on 23, for example, we're missing the principal. So how do I go backwards to find it?
You,
Point zero.
What do I start with? Okay, 4,000. Yeah, start with 4,000. So if it's A times B times C equals D, then D divided by C divided by B equals A.
Oh,
Divide by 10, divide by 8.8.
Yeah, I think you're starting to
Point
get it.
zero.
4,000 divided by 10 divided by 0.08, yes. You guys know how to do this part in your head? 4,000 divided by 10?
That's 400.
400 divided by 0.08.
Now,
Good question.
Fun.
I think it's
5,000.
$5,000.
5,000.
$5,000.
So, I can't hear another one there. $5,000. So, what this is saying is if you invest $5,000, you get 8% per year for 10 years, you get $4,000 in interest. That's almost as much as you invested. This is why it's important when you get older to start saving your money and putting it into investments. This investment almost doubled their money in 10 years. Now that's a really good interest rate though. 8% is good. But you can double your money if you invest it well. Alright. I need to warn you, well, you can get people to advise you and help and stuff. On 24, the time says 6 months, not 6 years. So what should we put for time on the?
26.
What fraction of a year is 6 months?
It's like that.
1/2 of a year,
0.5.
or 0.5. So when you plug in the time, 24 would be division, just like 23 was. When you plug in the time, you need to plug in 0.5 or 1/2. So it'd be like 1250 divided by 0.5 divided by 100,000.
Okay.
The interest rate is a percentage, so make sure you change that to a percent. All right, try those.